When dealing with a falsehood, you're faced with two options. You can accept it or you can reject it. The basis upon which we take one of these actions is a product of our critical thinking capabilities and a desire to know what is true instead of confirming our bias. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. On Brainstorm, we choose the hard truths over the comforting lies. Reason, compassion, skepticism. This is the Brainstorm Podcast.
To those listening live or to our patrons, welcome back. For those listening weekly, welcome to the Shift to Reason Radio, the Brainstorm production where we take current events and important skeptical topics and try to analyze them critically. I'm Cory, and my panel tonight are Lisa.
Hello.
Rene.
Hello.
And the always amazing Dave.
Still amazing.
We're broadcasting live from Roman Empire Studios in Regina, Saskatchewan, and today is October 26th, 2018. Let's jump into that Woo Report.
I'm not a scientist, but if I can tell you your science sucks, then your science really sucks.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
All right, Rene.
Okay, so this is kind of like an add-on to a story we did, I can't remember how long ago.
It's a while ago now.
A while ago. Anyway, Tom DeLonge, formerly of Blink-182, started kind of a tech company, kind of an entertainment/tech company.
Yeah.
Which was based around basically trying to, supposedly it had connections to the government and secret tech that they were going to release to the world. And aliens. I don't have the hair, but aliens. And so apparently he hired some people that are former government and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, 2 years later, apparently it's now $37.4 million in debt. So, yeah.
So there is no secret tech.
No. I mean, I was saying, as I read this, I mean, it's simple that, okay, how do you have a tech company started by a punk rocker and have it succeed? Like, it just doesn't seem right. But to be sort of fair, Tesla's run by Elon Musk, and Tesla hasn't exactly posted
he's apparently
a profit.
Not that bright.
Yeah, they haven't posted a profit either. So,
yeah.
Although, according to this article, the SCC, they have to do filings with them, and the positives is the entertainment side of it has, they have produced a book, and that's a positive. But the tech side is they've produced next to nothing.
Yeah,
like
no secret tech from the alien.
No secret tech. No special. I can't remember what it was. It was some goofy idea of how to launch ships of cargo into orbit way more efficiently than with the rockets.
Oh, is it the platform thing?
Yeah.
Heard of it.
Yeah, it's goofy. Anyway.
I don't know that it's actually, I think it's something like they throw around. I don't remember none.
I think it's one of those things that in theory might work, but the practicality, I don't know. Like, they keep talking about, what is it, space elevators?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of it. I think real scientists are looking, or real engineers and scientists are looking into it, but it's not a thing yet.
Sounds like Jetsons in their elevators. Like,
But at any rate, the idea that Tom DeLonge was going to revolutionize the world is a little bit far-fetched, and he's lost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, to be fair, they never said that they were going to make money.
Right.
They in their proposals, according to this article, they set up that this is a risky investment.
Okay. So people should have known that going in.
Yeah. So at any rate,
so I don't know what.
So
to say
no
about
secret tech. They've lost a lot of money. We'll see if To the Stars Academy actually how much longer it lasts. Although I was when that story first broke, I was going to their GoFundMe page. I was amazed at how much money they did.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, there's no shortage of people like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was somewhere up in the mill.
Wow.
I think it broke a mill or something at one point.
If Alex Jones can have a viable career, anything is possible.
So very true.
Apparently there's a lifetime on it, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody forced him to stop having a career, but...
Thing is, he still could. It's just now his access is a lot.
He's got to invent his own Twitter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He still has his webpage.
Yep.
I don't know about his radio station, but at any rate,
Yeah.
Tom
I don't know.
DeLonge lost a lot of money.
Tom DeLonge lost a lot of money. Yeah, I got no quips. I got nothing funny about this. It's just the aliens guy from Blink 182 lost a lot of money.
He blinked.
Oh, was that who that? So I was going to ask who
182.
Tom DeLonge is, but I didn't want to seem like.
Yeah, unhip.
Well,
I think at this point,
I think
not
it's probably
knowing-
a bit of a generational thing.
I was going to say,
I'm a little bit younger than you guys, not that much, but like it's enough to not know your bands.
knowing who he is would date you rather than make you hip. So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
It's the opposite of hip to know who he is.
Exactly.
Try to make some joke
I am
about,
not hip. Let's not worry about that.
all the small things and something about all the large deficits. I don't know. You could write your own jokes.
I'm not here to write your jokes for
We're
you.
not here for comedy.
Yeah.
Serious podcast only.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
a very
tired. Write your
serious
own damn
person.
jokes.
All right. Dave's turn.
Dave's not here. Okay, no. Yeah, so we have an article from Popular Science, one of my favorite mags. The headline reads, "Polygraph tests don't work as lie detectors, and they never have." Really good article. It's pretty concise, but brings up a lot of interesting points. I guess the biggest thing right now, and I know with all this, actually this even came up with the Kavanaugh thing, right? They were talking about the polygraph, and he once said that it was something that should be admissible in court or something along those lines. And then later on, they're like, he took a polygraph, or no, she took a polygraph.
Yeah.
And, or what's her name again? Ford, Dr. Ford.
Dr. Bleasy Ford.
She took a polygraph and passed, so that should, so he should support that, but whatever. Anyway, the point is that the polygraph is so ingrained in our conscience as to something that should be used. Basically, what this article is talking about, well, they even call it, they say the historian Ken Adler has wrote that the polygraph is America's mechanical conscience. And, people turn to it in times of crisis, demanding clarity from the biomedical readouts. Now, here's the thing, what the article talks about is basically, yes, the polygraph does its job. It reads heart rate. It reads, like,
Right.
like sweat. It does all these things. It's good at doing that. What they're kind of getting at is to make the leap between these things instantly mean lie, like somebody's lying is something that we've never been able to verify.
That's the real pseudoscience. There.
That's the pseudoscience. And it doesn't mean that you can take a polygraph and maybe like obviously those are behaviors that somebody lying might exude, right? I think that's the thing. Like psychologically, you might be more nervous, you might be more whatever. Like that can exist. That can coexist with lying.
Right.
But the point is that the lie detector test can't definitively tell you anything either way when it comes to lying anyway. So that's kind of what the article's talking about, is that we really need to stop doing that. One of the subcategories is how it doesn't work.
Right.
And, with doesn't in brackets. And it's like, yeah, like it does work, but it doesn't tell you this, what we're hoping to tell you. And actually, like this is something that has been like not admissible in court since like 1923, it says.
Right, yeah. Even then, they kind of knew that it was not that reliable.
It's weird. It's like not admissible, and yet like investigators will use it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like this weird, like, well, yeah, we know it's all bullshit, but we're just going to do it anyways, just because it might give us something. Like, no, like.
So there isn't
probably used as a interrogation tactic.
Yeah, and actually that's something the article does bring up. It does talk about that good lie detector operators are very good skilled interrogators.
Right.
So the idea that they might actually interrogate somebody really well through a lie detector test and come up with some information or some understanding of whether or not they're culpable, like that is a very real thing, because the person conducting the test is just good at that. So, but you can't attribute it to the actual lie detector itself, and that's where the problem lies. So, but I think we've just always assumed that that's what that means then because of that, So yeah,
Yeah.
It's interesting, really interesting article, actually. And like it's become such a part of our society that we think like lie detectors, like you see it on Maury Povich, or you see it on you see it in courtroom dramas, you see it in all this crap, right?
Even the RCMP use it in their screening process.
They do, yes.
For hiring.
And if you fail that, you won't make it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So I mean, it's weird how it's become. This pseudoscience has become so ingrained in like validity for everybody, and it's not. There's really nothing to say that it is. So nothing compelling,
No, that's right.
So and like the article's saying, I mean, this is something we've known for decades, like maybe a century even, and we've accepted that in actual court terms, but does
it talk about any potential way to, I don't know, change the culture of?
Not really. I think it just asks us to.
Yeah. It would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because, it just says that, it concludes, after 100 years of mixed results, it's time to acknowledge the human conscience will neither be perfected nor mechanized.
Right.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't really tell us how to make people accept that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I mean, that's just a bigger fight than just the polygraph test. I mean, we have people believing the earth is flat, for fuck's sake. So, so good luck trying to convince them of something like this, So, a really interesting article, and I'm glad it's in Popular Science. I think that's a very balanced, like giving the polygraph credit for what it can do,
right,
is very important. But making that leap is not it's not scientific. So,
fair enough.
That's my article. So, moral of the story is don't rely on lie detectors for anything except for checking your heart rate and pulse and all that stuff.
You can also do.
I have
with
my Fitbit for that.
Yeah, exactly. I have a blood pressure.
And I've got one similar, and I don't trust it.
Right. Why did it say my heart rate just spiked for no reason?
Actually, if you guys ever seen that show, I can't remember what it's called. But it's about that guy, and he can tell if you're lying or not.
The Mentalist?
No, it's like a drama.
Lie to me.
Oh, that one. Yeah, my wife watches that, and it's kind of interesting because they talk a little bit about like the psychology of like trying to identify if somebody's lying, and it's more to do with like their mannerisms and like their face and how they,
kind of like when you're playing poker, people have a tell.
It's similar to that,
to be
right?
able to read the tell, yeah. That's why a lot of them wear sunglasses,
right?
Yeah, for real, right? So that is an actual thing that you can at least garner some idea of what the person's going through, but it still doesn't 100% guarantee they're lying. It's just there are some techniques you can use to at least get some idea. And I'm sure we've all experienced that, when you're dating somebody and you're like, oh, are you still interested in me? Well, yeah. Yeah,
that's right.
Well, yeah, I am. Yeah, no, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong.
I'm actually pretty oblivious.
Nothing's wrong. Everything's good.
All right. That's a good place to end that story.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa, it's your turn.
Is this my Jen Gunter one?
Yes.
I enjoyed this. Thank you for giving me this one. I enjoyed this one. So Jen Gunter wrote, our favorite gynecologist.
That's right.
She wrote a fake scientific article. So it's on our blog, so it's not, but it's kind of written in that same sort of vein, but it's actually hilarious. It's got a lot of humor in it, so I highly recommend it. So basically the title is, I reviewed all 161 of Goop's wellness products for pseudoscience. Here's what I found. So basically, in October 2018, Gwyneth Paltrow was interviewed on the BBC and disagreed that she and Goop, her company, are engaged in promoting and peddling pseudoscience. So basically what Jen Gunter did is on October 12th, 2018, she went through all the products on Goop's website and classified whether they were pseudoscience or not, basically. So the categories according to Goop were wellness, between the sheets, cosmic therapy, aromatherapy, oral care, feminine care, grocery, and workout accessories. The categories as designed by Goop were not applicable for research purposes. In fact, they made little sense at all. So this researcher found them frustrating and nonsensical. And so she made up her own, and so she made her own categories, which was like supplements and vitamins, urogenital health, crystal-based essential oils, workout products, food, vibrators, and BDSM,
Like
books, oral care, spiritual, occult, and other. Anyway,
Between the sheets could be anything.
yeah, it was. And so she goes on and she kind of goes through a few of the products and which ones from what, I think this was funny. There were 4 items a decision was made to exclude books. There were 4 items and the reviewer had previously reviewed a portion of one book, and reading about the sacred snake ceremony just about did her in, and she didn't think she could read anymore. So anyway, so she didn't do books. So she was very generous. So, for example, the 18 products for sexual enjoyment were excluded from analysis as sexual preferences personal. Some women may find a $3,490 vibrator of value, while others may clamor for a $149 vibrator worn around your neck that looks uncomfortably like a dog whistle. Anyway, the whole article's like that, and it's quite funny. But she just kind of goes through. Well, I mean, there was toothpaste; it didn't have fluoride. But so it's likely inferior to fluoride containing, but it's not useless. So we'll call that not pseudoscience. It's just kind of how she went through it all.
Being quite generous.
It was, I don't know. It just goes on. It's hilarious. Just the whole thing is just it's the sarcasm and the little quips. Yeah. I don't know. Let me see if I can get another one. She had a hard time distinguishing between lube and essential oils in a lot of cases. So that was clever. Yeah. So at the beginning of her discussion, she says the goops. So basically in the end, she finds that out of 110 products that made health claims or could be considered health related products, only 10 had any kind of valid claim, meaning 10% of products were not pseudoscience. So whereas Gwyneth Paltrow said they didn't peddle pseudoscience, she found that only 10% were not pseudoscience. The discussion begins. The Goop store is 90% quackatorium, and there is no evidence supporting Gwyneth Paltrow's claim that Goop does not engage in pseudoscience. So, the whole thing is hilarious. Everyone should read it. It's funny, and you can just tell how frustrated Jen Gunter is with all this stuff. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So highly recommend looking at it. But turns out Goop products are pseudoscience, which we never knew before.
We totally didn't realize before.
Didn't know. If only we'd known.
All right. So we're going to skip Rene's other story because he had to take off. So let's go to science.
If you base medicine on science, you cure people. If you base the design of planes on science, they fly. If you base the design of rockets on science, they reach the moon. It works, bitches.
Yes, science!
Yes, science.
we need to edit that bumper and like somebody just says cures. Like really plain English instead of kills, cures, whatever it says.
All right, Lisa.
It's me. Yeah. So my next story is from ScienceAlert.com. It's the title is "Incessant Christmas Music Really Can Be Bad for Our Health." Really bad for our mental health. Experts warn.
I can get behind this.
Yeah. So
this confirmed my bias. He's quite
well. Okay. So they start by saying Christmas music is something you either love or hate. I happen to love Christmas music. Don't be shocked. I love it. And what's funny is I'm in this Christmas choir, and we sing such religious Christmas. Like it's
right?
It's so religious. And there's another guy I know who's also an atheist from CFI who's also in the same choir. So we got these two atheists singing this super freaking like religious music, and I love it, and I just like gobble it up. Not for the religious content, but just because I love choir and I love Christmas music and it makes me feel happy. So it's probably because the Holy Spirit enters me at that moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway,
that sounded terrible.
But for some people, apparently the Holy Spirit doesn't enter them when they hear Christmas songs and they hate it. Like I'm getting the impression maybe Cory and Dave aren't so into it.
Safe bet.
But they point out that if you work in a shop and you feel like Christmas songs are already getting to you, you might actually be right. According to clinical psychologist Linda Blair, relentless festive tunes can be mentally draining. People working in the shops at Christmas have to tune out Christmas music because if they don't, it really does stop you from being able to focus on anything else, Blair told Sky News. So you're simply spending all of your energy trying not to hear what you're hearing. So I mean, I can see how this is the case. If you work in retail, I could see Christmas music would drive you totally batshit. Because if I spend even an hour in the Bay, whatever, on Christmas time, like I'm just like, fuck, kill me now. I mean, I love Christmas music and I can't fucking stand that shit. So I almost feel like it's kind of a silly article. It's talking about how you're not crazy if you work in retail and the Christmas music is driving you nuts. Like it really is a thing that it can be demonstrated to damage your mental health. But I feel like, and okay, it's funny as a cute little story, but I feel like it speaks to working conditions and I really feel like it's just not. I really it's like the same thing, like people working in windowless rooms or people working in it's just a condition that sucks. Like and I would like to express
kind of torture almost.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I feel like people roll their eyes at people if something is miserable about working in retail, but I feel like a lot of people have to work in retail because that's their career. The job market is shitty, and that may be the thing that they're doing. And it's not just like a transient job. It's not just teenagers. It's not just it's real people supporting their families on this, and they have to put up with this crap. I feel like it's an actual working. Personally, I feel like it's an actual working condition issue because apparently businesses actually find that they sell more products at Christmas by putting Christmas music on. Like it evokes emotions and people want to buy. Yeah, well, apparently. Well, I mean, you never know if businesses feel that this is the case and then do it, or if it's actually a real thing that actually works. I don't know, but
legitimate. What's the control? Have they?
Yeah, I don't know what scientific studies have been done as to the effectiveness of Christmas. Although maybe, because I mean, marketing people have looked into more shit than you could ever even imagine. So it's possible. But I'm just saying, so that's apparently the rationale for it. Yeah, I do have a lot of sympathy for people working retail who have to listen to Christmas music that much because
they also have to deal with a lot of shitty people being
at Christmas,
and
it's busy. Yeah, and it's you can only listen to All I Want for Christmas Is You 20,000 times before it becomes too annoying. At least that's my number.
That's your number.
20,000 after 20,000. I don't want to love for
It's
Christmas.
too much already.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Nothing from Dave, though.
That's my story. That's all. It's not really a very in-depth story, but I like it. Yeah.
All right. So mine is from time.com, and it's not exercising may be worse for your health than smoking, study says. And it starts off saying, it's common knowledge that there are many benefits to being fit, but one large new study found that skipping out on the gym is particularly bad for your health. It's interesting that the headline mentions being worse than smoking because it's not in this article.
Well, that seems suspicious. Sorry, what's the
weird.
Source?
Time.
Okay, well, you'd think it would be reputable.
The study was published in the journal JAMA Network Open.
Okay.
And researchers at the Cleveland Clinic studied 122,007 patients between 1991 and 2014, putting them under treadmill testing and then recording their mortality rates.
How many patients?
122,007.
Holy fuck.
That's crazy.
And
that's
7.
Huge. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
very
counts.
specific too. Yeah.
And it's a very specific number. Well, they probably did study an integer number of people. Like you don't study half
That's
people.
true.
Like that's okay.
No, it is a full person, right?
Yes.
So I would have rounded to 122,000 for the article though myself, but whatever.
Crazy.
Yeah. So they found a connection between a longer, healthier life and higher levels of exercise, which doesn't seem far-fetched.
What a conspiracy.
The study says, cardiorespiratory fitness is inversely associated with long-term mortality with no observed upper limit of benefit.
Does that mean that? No, there must be an upper limit of benefit.
Well, there has to be at some point, but they didn't see it, or they didn't. The way they were measuring it must not have.
But that doesn't necessarily mean the more exercise you do, the longer you live. It just means they have no idea like just how much it helps you, but it definitely helps you, and they haven't found the ceiling for it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's an amount of exercise you could do that would start being less beneficial than than the amount before.
You can kill yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But even you can cause injury that anyways.
The study did actually take a look at the risk of being overactive and found that quote unquote ultra exercisers don't actually face a higher risk of death. So, I mean, in the long-term sense, I guess.
But I wonder if they looked at like a quality of life indicator or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're whatever, I don't even know, but if your knees are completely shot or something like that. I mean, anyway,
right.
sorry.
Yeah. You could still be alive.
Yes. Still counting as alive, but in a lot of pain, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
It also says extremely high aerobic fitness was associated with the greatest survival and was associated with benefit in older patients and those with hypertension. And basically, according to this article, a sedentary lifestyle is the equivalent of having a major disease, and the simplest cure is exercise. So be fit or active a little bit, at least.
But I'm hearing that be fit and active a lot is better than a little.
It is.
Not just a little.
That sucks. I only do so much. I only have time for so much.
So if I'm really active, can I have more cigarettes then?
Yes.
Definitely, Dave.
Yes,
You
because being sedentary is worse than smoking.
There you go. Yeah. Well, so what this article tells me is to get really active and smoke.
Yeah.
You
if
are
you're going to smoke,
totally interpreting that right.
yeah. Oh, here's the line with the smoking from the Dr. Whale Jaber, who was a co-author of the study. Quote, being unfit on a treadmill or in an exercise stress test has a worse prognosis as far as death than being hypertensive, being diabetic, or being a current smoker. We've never seen something as pronounced as this and as objective as this.
Wow.
There
That's
you go.
pretty crazy.
So, yeah. Exercising.
So gyms should use that in their marketing.
Right.
Like, come to us or die.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
You know, and I wonder, so I was reading that guy who's coming on the podcast. You're all excited about James
Fell.
James Fell. I was reading his blog and he was listing I'm a runner, and he was listing the reasons why he's a runner. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I started reading it. And it was interesting because he never, he was like, oh, it keeps you in shape and lets you eat lots of food and get outside. But he never said that it's good for your mental health. And I just wonder what effect mental health has on this being a positive. Like, I feel like as you get older, especially, people, their mental health tends to maybe either decline or to, they're not as, I feel like maybe not as sharp as they used to be. Well, and I wonder how much exercise helps with that. Cause I really just feel that mental health is really helped by exercise makes you feel good in your brain and not just in your body.
Sure.
So
I feel like we talked about this once before, but I can't remember
Probably.
when. But I think one of the things that was said about that idea was obviously there's a positive impact at some level, but then there's the opposite where we tell people oh, you have anxiety? Well, this is how you cure it. All you do is exercise.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not the case for everybody, right?
Yeah.
It's
definitely not. No.
Right. So.
And then no, but I'm just saying, I never exercise and go, oh, I really regret that I spent time doing that. That was what a waste of my time.
It's often hard
Watch
to
Netflix
get going.
and think that. But
It has a positive mental health benefit, but maybe not necessarily.
It may not be sufficient.
It's not sufficient all the time. Yeah.
Right.
And that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. But it's generally positive. Yeah. I would say.
Exercise is good.
Yeah.
Man, we are really fucking on the ball today. I mean, fucking rape culture is bad.
Yep.
Consent is good.
Right.
Christmas music, terrible.
No.
I'm on board.
There was debate there. Okay, that's the only thing we debate is whether or not Christmas music is terrible because we've decided exercise good. But I don't know, science good. We were talking
Science
Jillian
is
earlier.
good,
Science good.
Space is cool.
Space cool.
Yeah.
And good.
And mysterious.
Mysterious. Somewhat mysterious.
Somewhat.
But we can get information from Redshift. Anyways.
All right, let's move on to politics.
All right.
If you like what we're doing and want to help us keep the lights on, go become a patron at patreon.com/brainstorm podcast. You can hear the bonus half hour that we record every episode and get a shout out when you support the show. Become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/brainstorm podcast. Or you can support the show by ordering a t-shirt, mug or other gear from our store at caffeepress.ca/brainstorm podcast gear. If you can't afford to become a patron or buy gear, then why not give us a rating or write a review on iTunes or Stitcher? Every rating makes it easier for people to find us. Thanks for your support.
I know we shouldn't have to scream that we're atheists. You know, we don't have non-astrologers and all that. But with the religious people taking over the world, I mean, we can either speak up or be pushed into a corner. I'm proud to be an atheist.
What happens when you're an atheist living in the Canadian Bible Belt? If you're like me, you gather some friends and you take to the airwaves. So I invite you to come and join us every week to take a left to the valley and find out where you stand in this world. Follow us on iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, or SoundCloud, or lefttothevalley.com. Atheist, skeptic, and humanist radio, no God required.
Faith in God is like a virus, so why would I respect it? The line between good and evil gets blurred once infected. The truth you neglected.
Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out.
You know what I like about that quote? Now, the more I've listened to it, when he says, people are always complaining about American politicians, then you hear a guy go, yeah! And then he goes on to like totally refute that, yeah. Like, it's just like, no, you're an idiot, dude.
Yeah,
like, I love that.
Favorite part. Yeah. Except.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truth.
Idiot.
Politicians do suck, though.
Well, I just think it's funny that Carlin can kind of contradict his audience that way, and he can be so successful at it. He was such a genius.
And still,
right?
and still people loved him.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dave, what do you got?
Oh, this is me?
This is you.
Oh, man.
Do it, Dave.
I didn't realize I had two stories. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. This one's not terribly...
You can read it. Just read it to us. Just read it as you just open it up with your phone and read it to us.
You discuss Trump for a minute.
I like him. I'm
He's
really
bad.
starting to think that I should vote for him.
He's bad.
If I was American, I would.
He's real bad.
I apologize. I didn't realize I had two stories. I thought I had just had one.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one I figured would be right up your alley.
Okay. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Where are we here? Oh. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
I'm not ready. I haven't decided if I'm voting for Trump yet.
I
In my hypothetical American.
I'm going to say don't.
Okay. Yes. Excellent. Thank you, Cory. I see what we've done here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, like to say a happy Canadian 420 to everybody.
I know. Isn't that exciting?
It was very exciting. And I will
Did you buy any legal weed?
I did on that day, yes.
Good for you.
So I will share my before we get into this story, I'm just going to share briefly my legal weed experience for the day.
I want to know.
So on October 17th, we had weed legalized in all of Canada. Now, it hasn't gone smoothly. I'm going to say that right off the bat. We've had a lot of issues with distribution and availability and all that stuff and pricing.
Right.
So, but whatever. It's a start, and I know it's a rocky start, but I really do think this is still the right thing. Anyways, in Saskatchewan, there was, at least in Regina, near Regina, there was only one retailer that was ready to go on legalization day. So everybody went there. It was actually quite, like, it was this weird, like, celebration. Like everybody you could think of was there who smokes weed. And that's like so many different facets of society were there. Different demographics, different people. And everybody gathered at Eden, which is in the RM of Edenwold, I believe, just outside of Regina. And they have a store there called Eden. And people went there, and it was like being at an Apple store. Like, there's like tables with magnifying glasses, so you can like view all the different buds. And there's price lists.
What the fuck is an Apple store? Where the fuck are you shopping? There's no such thing as an Apple store.
You never been to an Apple store?
Oh, you mean like the product? I'm like, looking at the store that they sold like the red apple.
No.
I'm like, this is weird. Okay, no, I understand that kind of.
You and I live in different worlds.
Yeah. But it was
so fucking tired. I give up.
It was an incredibly interesting store. I bought my the weed was overpriced. I'm gonna be honest. It was good weed, but it was overpriced. I bought my eighth, I believe, and came home with it, and I was very, very proud. It was just there's something in the air that day, like not just the haze, but it was just like the energy was there. You know, people were just so excited, and it was just like we could just breathe this sigh of relief, and like, you know what, we're not stigmatized anymore. We can be public about this. It's fine. You know, you can smoke dope, and nobody gives a shit. So yeah, great day. I celebrated. I was quite happy. Actually, you know,
How did you celebrate it?
Well, my friend came over and she rolled me a joint, and we had a good time, and we just watched some movies, and it was good. Anyways, so the article from CBC News: Legal pot is here. What you need to know. Rules around legal weed vary from province to province. Now, when I say rocky start, like, this is the thing about marijuana legalization is there's a lot. There's still a lot that needs to happen here to kind of make it fluid and make it make sense legally and distribution wise. And I really think we're still a long ways off from that happening. Like, this is really we're learning as we go, right? And we're starting to do this. So this article claims there's still a lot we don't know, including what will happen to the illicit dispensaries that popped up in cities across the country in recent years. But here's a look. What we do know is Canadian consumers buy legal cannabis for the first time. And just a note with that, there have been a lot of dispensaries in Regina specifically that were all shut down. Many of them were charged. There was one called Canna Green that kept reopening despite being closed and charged. And then finally, this last time, it was like, I remember I was there, actually. I drove by, and they're like, everybody was there, a huge lineup, and I'm like, I'm not going to go in because it's too busy. And literally the next day, they put a sign on the door, it closed forever, and they evacuated. Right. So it's like they got in, got their thousands of dollars, and left, you know. And
right.
I almost wonder, I'd love to know this data. I don't know if I ever will, but I'd love to know how many of these stores, like, sold, let's say they sold 100,000 worth of product and only had like 20,000 in fines or something like that, right? Like, I'd love to know how well they got off with this stuff, because the amount of money they were piling in those stores was unreal. Like, it was incredible. I remember walking into one and they had stacks, and I was like, holy shit, like thousands and thousands of dollars sitting right behind a till, because they're just that busy, right? And just selling all day. But anyway, so how people will buy pot. Depends on where you live. The major constant is that online sales are available in all provinces and territories. I know some of these provinces you can't cross sell. So there's quite a bit of information on this in this article about what's different in every province for where you can buy it and that kind of thing.
You can get it online though.
You can, but from what I understand, is Saskatchewan retailers can't sell to people outside of Saskatchewan, or something like that. Like, so, like, every province is slightly different. Even like with your consumption, like here in Saskatchewan, consumption wise, well, this might be national, actually. I better double check that. But I know legally, like, I can't smoke outside anywhere.
Oh,
you can't smoke in a park. You can't smoke.
That definitely varies by province. Like that, I think I looked at the CBC article, and they allowed you to choose a drop down menu, and you choose your province, and then it would show you, like for example, I think I checked Alberta, and Alberta's like, you can't smoke in front of minors or something. There's like all these weird random.
So that might be a Saskatchewan specific law, and I'd have to. The article has all the links. There's actually a lot of info here, so I can't even. There's no way I could go over it all right now.
Right.
But yeah, if that's the case, I know for sure in Saskatchewan that you can't smoke outside in a public area. You can't smoke in a public establishment. Like, it's really, there's only two places you can really smoke marijuana here are in private residences. And that's it. Actually, that is the only place. So,
what's the other place?
I guess that's it. That's the only one.
Yeah, because you can't smoke in your car,
Dave, you're
right?
thinking you could do it in my house, or you could do it in my friend's
Well,
house.
I was thinking my office or my. But the one thing that we're having a problem with is that landlords are basically saying you're not allowed to smoke at all on their property, and so far we're adhering to that. But I feel like that's kind of against someone's rights. Like, like if they can smoke a cigarette on the balcony, why can't they smoke a marijuana joint? You know, it's their residence. Like, it's. it's kind of weird.
Like
but,
being somebody who lives in an apartment building, it is annoying when
Sure.
it doesn't matter if it's cigarettes or pot, honestly. Like if your
Smoke
neighbor
is
is
smoke.
smoking, and it just kind of stinks and your apartment kind of stinks, but like, I don't know.
But if like one is wrong, then the other one has to be, is what the way I kind
Agree.
of see
No,
it. You know?
Yep.
And so I don't know. That's an interesting rule.
Yeah, like, are there non-smoking buildings?
Definitely.
Like you're not allowed to smoke in my building.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as far as I know, you can smoke in the balcony.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of these things are like there's fines, or there's like a lot of the. It's mostly just fines that you get for breaking some of these rules, with the exception of impaired driving. That's a totally different thing. But, anyways, some of the things here, like, so you can possess 30 grams on your person, no more than 30 grams, which is quite a bit. I mean, if you're carrying around 30 grams,
How much does it cost? I think I read that it's like $18 a gram.
Well,
at that store in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So 18 times 30.
It's a lot of marijuana.
I guess
like,
you got to have $600 a pot on you.
You can also, in Canada, you can take pot on the plane. So you can take up to 30 grams on the plane.
That is so cool.
It's cool, right? It's just like you buy wine somewhere and you take it across. Like you just can't obviously go to another country with it because you'll get charged for drug possession. But within Canada, if I'm flying to Toronto, I can bring my weed. If I'm flying to Calgary, wherever, it doesn't matter. So just no more than 30 grams.
It's your weed.
It's your weed. Yeah. The big thing this article is talking about here that's kind of interesting is price. Okay, so I mean, because I know street price is quite different. Black market was about $10 to $12 a gram, and I noticed that a lot of these illegal dispensaries were charging about the same thing. They were kind of going by street rates.
Right.
The legal dispensaries are going to run into a lot of other different things that regulation, puts in the way.
Because it's all taxed.
It's taxed. It's there's a lot going on there, right? So,
but isn't it nice to know that it's not like possibly sketchy? You know what I mean? It's controlled. Like, isn't that? I kind of feel like I would pay more for knowing something is safe.
The quality control is going to get better and better. That's the way I look at it.
And I feel like prices will go down. Right?
Eventually,
will they not? I mean, come on, they have to.
Yeah.
As places open up and the amount we have available becomes higher, then yes, like then I think pricing will level out eventually. Especially here, like when all these other stores open, I doubt they're all going to be charging the same price that Eden did.
Right.
And you think about what the street price had to incorporate, like, I mean, illegally moving like the material from one place to another and growing in such a way that, I mean, it's just, and then of course these people selling weed illegally, I mean, they're not doing it for fun. They're doing it for profit, right? So they're jacking it up as obviously as high as they possibly can.
There's a lot of unpaid labor in drug growth and production. When it's black market, there's a lot of exploitation involved. I mean, there will be some exploitation within the legal system as well, but it won't be the same. It won't go hand in hand with like organized crime.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and that's interesting too. Yeah, like bringing up like somebody has to make, when you think about there's a middleman in marijuana black markets, like as a dealer, you have to take your cut, and if it's not financially lucrative for you, you wouldn't charge that low,
Right.
So obviously they were able to sell at $10 a gram and make a decent kickback from that. So I feel like that'll lower as time goes on here. I think we're just kind of trying to even out right now. Some of the other places in town have quoted lower prices. Like here it says New Brunswick, there's ranges from $8 to $16 a gram. In Northwest Territories, $8.21 to $14.55. So I mean, could you imagine if it's all like $8 a gram? Like if that's kind of where the average is going to be? That's beautiful.
That wouldn't be bad, eh?
Wouldn't be bad. Nothing bad about that. I mean, I'm such a lightweight. Like I hardly do anything. Like I just do a little bit, and I'm good. So I mean, I bought like that eighth, and that's probably going to last me like 2 months.
Right.
So the average chronic, probably that'd be gone in like a couple days or something. But
I did see the day of. I saw a lot of people that had in the past been, buying it from their dealer or whatever, and complaining about the prices and the system, and a number of people are quite frustrated with the
for sure
the rollout, I guess.
Can I ask a stupid question? Can't they just go back to their dealer then? Are people still selling it illegally? Like, what impact is this having?
It's going to take a while for that to get weeded out. No pun intended. But
come on, intend that pun. Own that pun.
No, I appreciate the no pun intended.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go there.
It will take time. I mean, people have been buying from the black market for so long, and there's all these producers in the black market. Like, I think over time, as it shifts and shifts, it won't be financially lucrative for people to deal through the black markets, so they won't do it anymore. And I really think that's where we're going to head with it over time. Again, price has to come down, supply has to go up. And then the quality of the marijuana will be great. Like, and so far my experience with it has been good. I haven't had any issues. It's actually been really, really good.
Good.
But I know some people have complained. So yeah, could there be a weed shortage is another thing in this article. This is a very long article, so I won't go over everything. But, there's a bit of a weed shortage right now. They say there are currently more than 120 licensed cannabis producers in the country, many based in Ontario and BC. Several companies rapidly expanded ahead of legalization, but one of Canada's top cannabis producers recently said labor shortages and supply chain issues may cause sold-out signs to pop up at pot stores soon after it becomes legal. So yeah, they have some sorting out to do with that. I mean, we've never done this before.
Right, yeah.
But nobody's done. I don't think any country has fully has totally.
Uruguay's done it.
Okay.
Who else? There's somebody else. There's a few, but not many.
We're that's pretty.
Yeah, we're at
the forefront.
That's right.
We are still at the forefront. Yeah, like obviously there's been states that have done it.
Yeah. I think even most countries, except for, I think Uruguay is the only one that actually has it countrywide.
We really decided to joint Uruguay on this, right?
Yes. Actually, my parents have been to Uruguay. It's like one of the chillest countries I'll ever go to, they told me. Like, everyone's just chilling out, drinking their yerba mate, like just, I don't know, hanging out. It's just really, really cool there. Anyway,
it's really a budding industry here.
Okay. There's also talk here about health effects, about the rules around driving. I mean, these are such big issues. It's kind of hard to go over them in one article.
Yeah.
But it does give you some things to think about. I mean, obviously, don't get high and drive. Let's just be honest. Like that's the first thing to say.
Okay, wait. Are we sure? Again, we've covered a lot of ground here today. Yeah. Rape bad. What was it? Science good.
Consent good.
Driving while high
is bad.
Bad. Are we sure bad?
I think we're sure bad.
You can get fines. You can go to prison. On and on.
Or you could kill someone.
Theoretically hurt somebody very badly.
Having said that, I know there was somebody talking about one of the studies about this, and obviously, like, I'm not encouraging anybody to drive impaired. I don't think that's a good idea. But interestingly enough, they were saying that it might depend on how much of a seasoned smoker you are, right? So like, for instance, if I do like a little bowl of marijuana, it's probably going to affect me way more than somebody who's like smoking like, 5 joints a day or something. So like they might actually be able to manage through that because they're pretty like controlled with it now. And I know what they mean by that. Like, you can gain tolerance for it to the point where like you feel almost normal doing it, which is weird.
Yeah,
I can't see why I'd want that.
Well, you could also become addicted to pot, right? Like people do. Like no more so than anything else, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if it's getting to the point where you don't feel like you're in control of your usage, or you're using it to get through the day, to feel normal, that can happen.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That's actually a really big discussion too right now about marijuana addiction, because I think traditionally we've talked about in the addictions field that marijuana is only psychologically addicting, not physiologically. But now there's some debate about that too.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know. I guess we'll have to. There's a lot of evidence that's going to come out. That's going to, I think, shape our approach to that. But I know right on the package it says 1 in 6 people will become addicted to pot or something like that who use it. And I kind of think that number is a little bit. I don't know where they get that
high.
from. It sounds misleading to me because
Cory, I'm so happy for you.
That's not what I didn't mean that at all.
It sounds high. Oh yeah,
it was not a pun. I'm not.
It was not
a pun. You're a dad joker.
Not taking credit for that pun.
No, you know what? Here's the thing about marijuana addiction is like, again, like the word addiction is problematic for me in lots of ways. Are you out of control and can't function without that substance? Like, that's really the question. And I mean, I know a lot of high functioning pot smokers that might be classified as addicts per se, but are they having the negative effects that are always usually associated with addiction? No.
Yeah.
Well, addiction has to be, are you continuing it despite it having a negative impact on whatever part of your life, right? Like, I mean,
Sure.
that's one of the key criteria, right?
But I'm wondering then, so that statistic 1 in 6, so what does that refer to then? Does that refer to people, like you're saying, who are experiencing negative effects but continue to use it, or is it just people who use it regularly? Like what? So I'd be skeptical of that number. I find that a little high. And
no pun intended.
No pun intended. But again, I'd like to see what those numbers say, because my experience, I know it's anecdotal, but I mean, I've known a lot of pot smokers over the years and of various types. And my experience is that you're going to find more often than not high functioning pot smokers in the workforce. Like, they're there. Right. We couldn't say it before, was the only difference, so, now, the interesting thing is, there actually is a mention of that here, like, what should you be concerned about with your job? And obviously there's a lot of, it varies greatly. It really depends on where you're working, and, like, I
find the issue a little odd, because at some jobs you can be piss tested whenever, right?
Yes.
So then it's legal. So if I smoked last week, I'm still going to have it in my system.
You could, yeah.
Where, you don't want people to be smoking and at work.
No.
I mean, now
I wouldn't get drunk at work, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get drunk at work, so you don't want to get high at work. But at the same time, like, the way that pot stays in your system, it's different than alcohol or other drugs.
Yeah, we're going to have some sensibility, and I ultimately, as research gets better, maybe we're going to have to find some new ways to identify.
Yeah,
because I know they keep talking about saliva tests, and the same thing with that. Like technically, they can give you a roadside saliva test. People are saying they should be able to give you a roadside blood test, and I remember reading something about that. I think that's a little intrusive.
Yeah, I think I read something earlier that the roadside saliva tests are still only like,
exactly,
they have a 25% error. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see.
False positive?
Yeah, I can't think of the
judges are going to throw that shit out left and right. Is what's going to happen. I mean, and then there's going to be no precedent for it, because they'll be like, oh well, judges are always throwing this out, so why
even use it?
I've seen them throw out way less than that when I worked in the courts. So, yeah, I feel like it's not going to fly, the saliva test thing. So, I mean, they're going to have to be reasonable and sensible about it. Like I don't know. I guess it's hard. Like, I mean, how can you verify that somebody's high, when they're driving, if they're really in control? Like, you can just say, oh, your pupils are dilated and you have red eyes. Well, I'm tired all the time when I wake up and my eyes are always red. So that doesn't mean anything, I don't know. Like,
but if you're driving erratically and there's something to indicate that if they smell it on you, maybe, or if, I don't know, whatever, then I think it would be reasonable to say, okay, you're going to the hospital to do a blood test.
But can that hold up in court? Well, I guess, yeah, because again,
go to the hospital to do a blood test. Yeah, I think that should.
Will the blood test detect it though days after? So that's the problem.
But there has got to be a concentration level that indicates that you've had it within a certain amount of time. No,
maybe. I don't know. I'd want to look into that, because I know with alcohol it's a lot more clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
But I think marijuana might be a little less. I don't know. I'm not sure. Actually, I'd be curious to know that.
Anyone remember when, what's his name, Ross Ribliotti lost his gold medal because he had traces of pot? And it's just
so
like, that
stupid.
was insane.
What the fuck?
Insane.
It's performance.
It's like the first performance enhancing drug. But I think he was the first person to win the gold medal in that event in the snowboard, because it was when snowboarding first weekend in the Olympics. Oh, it was awful. Anyways,
I'm sorry to take up so much time.
No,
it's just,
I'm interested.
You know what? This is like a whole episode worth of interesting material,
right?
But, yeah, there's so much to talk about with this issue, and as legalization continues, ideally we're going to get better at it. Ideally, we'll meet new challenges, and we'll conquer those too. But the point is, the sensible thing is, let's regulate pot. Let's take it out of the black market. Let's protect the consumer.
Fuck gangs.
Let's study it.
Yeah, that's
good.
right.
let's
like,
do
they're
all
the
these
worst
things.
people.
Well, yeah, like I mean,
doing
like
terrible things.
Yeah.
it's about time we've come to our senses and done this. We've been wanting this for decades.
And with respect to the impaired driving thing, you have to deal with that issue whether people are smoking up legally or not, right? Like there's it doesn't matter if it's legal or not.
And that's what I've been arguing all along is like they're making a big panic about it now, like it's going to be different. And I'm like, people have been driving impaired on marijuana for
the whole time.
and you haven't found a solution for it yet. Like,
in fact, if it's legal now maybe we address it more. I don't know. We deal with it. Let's deal with it. Like, 'cause it's an issue either way. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So I don't know. You know, I'm also a big advocate of the idea that I think marijuana is a much safer recreational tool than alcohol. So I feel like I'm glad that it's going to be normalized. You know.
Yep.
I'd prefer my son is high than drunk, personally.
Your son's like 8.
No, but
Come on, David.
When he gets older. When he gets
older. Okay.
When he gets older. Not now. You know, because you know how Saskatchewan is. Like the expectation is like, oh, we got to get just hammered on the weekend. Everybody's got to go get hammered.
Right.
And it's
you're like, I better not hear about you getting hammered. You better be getting high.
Well, it's like the amount of shit that could happen.
I'm your father.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Like, I mean, when you get high, you just chill out and have fun and
maybe
go to
we
sleep.
can
it's just like,
we can increase the stigma on alcohol or something.
Yeah. But, you know, not to say there aren't health effects of marijuana, because there are, like anything else, pick your poison. But
where the fuck are your chiladas? Speaking of,
yeah,
what is going on? I suddenly realized.
No, I find that they have too many calories, and
interesting.
Yeah, I'm also
making health decisions.
You are now. You get to exercise, then you can have them again.
Mm-hmm.
How many calories do you get from smoking a joint, Dave?
I don't think you don't get calories from smoking a joint.
There you go. See,
but the munchies after the
fact.
It's a win.
Okay, I guess that's a good point.
So to close the story, I do want to mention that was hilarious on the day of legalization. Skip the Dishes sent me a notification at about 2:00. Got a sudden craving.
Nice.
We've got your munchies covered. I wasn't high yet, but it was just hilarious. I was just like, man, like the marketing is just jumping on it
for
immediately.
Sure, right?
Like,
I love it.
Like, we're gonna sell so much food today. Everybody's high. They probably did.
Oh yeah.
There was a taco truck right outside the store when I went to buy. So
nice.
and I bought a taco. It looked
brilliant.
Yeah. It was pretty great.
Taco truck guy knows what's up.
He knew this was the place to come. Mind you, you're not supposed to smoke it outside there or in your vehicle, so nobody was high there, right? I doubt
right.
I doubt that. But I was sober.
Well, thank you, Dave.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't read the story, but I actually knew a lot about that topic.
Yeah.
So
I figured it would be right up your alley either.
Oh yeah, I've been reading about it, experiencing it.
Yeah. We're going to kind of skip over mine, but I do want to quickly, I am going to share the link in the show notes for this. It's from splinternews.com, and it's the activists waging a war to make the far right go broke. It's an interesting article. I highly recommend people read it. I had a related story, which was Richard Spencer his wife is divorcing him now. And
but he seems so nice.
Yeah, no, I know, eh? And saying he abused her. And it seems I don't think anybody deserves abuse, but it seems obvious to me that somebody like Richard Spencer would be an abusive person.
Not necessarily. You know what, though? Not necessarily. And I think a lot of time, I think way more often it happens that somebody you never would have thought it turns out to be abusive. I think it's way more common the other way. That people, really? That you know, and yeah.
I find that people meet my expectations.
Well, look at like Johnny Depp, right? Like actual evidence, like photographic evidence that he and text message evidence that he was physically abusive to his ex, and people still refuse to condemn him. Like, I mean, there's one example, just one example. Like, fucking Chris Brown still has a career.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Eh? Yeah.
Does this tie into our rape culture conversation?
Because domestic violence is another manifestation of entitlement.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Typically, I mean, not to be like not always men, but in very often male entitlement.
Most of the time, yeah.
Typically.
I mean, there is a lot of domestic violence going on with women hitting their partner, and it's very hush hush, and people are not supposed to talk about it. But I think the dynamic there may be a bit different. But yeah, anyways, I think the common thread there is the entitlement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like entitlement as a concept better than power. I always find the power thing kind of a weak explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess we kind of moved on from that.
We did, yeah. But I just wanted to say I like the word entitlement. I think it sums it up better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's cue the outro music. For all the things you can check out in the show notes on our website, brainstormblog.net, and our hosting page, thebrainstormpodcast.com. Thanks to our financial supporters, Kayla, Janet, Kim, Stephanie, Zach, the Utah Outcasts, Will, Aaron, Daryl, Destin Sucks, Bob Glenn, Destin Doesn't Suck That Much, Magnus, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave, positively skeptical, Rob, the Podonk Polymath, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, Sauce Be Upon Him, Freethinker 215, and Larry. If you want to join them and help the show grow, then you can do that at patreon.com/brainstormpodcast. Or go buy some stuff at tpublic.com/stores/brainstorm-podcast-gear. You can join us every 2 weeks on brainstormradio.net. Our next live show is on November 9th. And I don't actually have a guest lined up. I'm waiting to hear back from someone, and if that falls through, then I'll have to shoot a couple more messages out. The time after that, we will have Dr. Jen Gunter on. So that's fun. I want to give a big thanks to Jillian for joining us. You can find more of her stuff at astroquizzical.tumblr.com, so make sure to check that out. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome, Cory.
Thank you, Dave. And, and thank you, Rene, even though he's not here, for coming tonight.
Fuck you, Rene.
Thanks, Dave, for our intro music. Thanks to Aaron Rabbi from Embrace the Void for doing the voiceover. You can find his stuff at voidpod.com. Thanks to Alex Kemper-Murdoch for doing the voiceover for our ads. And thanks to Jason Camo for our outro music. You can find his stuff at aloststateofmind.com. All music played is either with permission or under the SOCAN license to play. For more information on SOCAN, you can check out the music license info page on our website, brainstormblog.net. Remember to give us a rating, a thumbs up, or a fave on your podcatcher of choice. Join our Facebook group, like our page, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our subreddit, sign up for the newsletter, share the show, and spread the word. The more you share, comment, and like our stuff, the more it helps the show grow. Thanks for listening, and remember, the truth matters.
This is an opinion-based podcast. Each person on the podcast is responsible for their own opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the panel. Any guests or anyone associated with the people on the podcast, such as spouses, partners, children, other family members, friends, or employers. No one person speaks for the podcast with the possible exception of Cory, and he doesn't speak for anyone else on the show. The Brainstorm podcast does not represent the views of our sponsors.